Mr. Roberts, good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Blaine, good to see you. Thanks for hopping on. Evening, Jeff. Williamsburg 493 in the house. Henry, thank you for being here. I just flew in. I've been on the road all day, and I think I had about 5 minutes to get in here and get ready for this. So I'm glad that I made it on time, and I see Porter Lodge was in the house. Oh, Dave Hosler's on. He's the guy that's kept me tied up all day. It's been good. Lucas, Kyle, Jackie Ash. Good evening, my friend. Dirk Rader, good to see you, buddy. Merle, Andy. Oh, goodness. Lots of folks chiming in. This is great. Terry, good to see you. Blaine, I don't believe that. Yeah, maybe. I haven't really decided yet if I'm bringing those there. Oh, most worshipful David G. Morgan chiming in from Santa Claus. All right, good to see you guys. Thank you all for popping in. Michael Pettigrew, good to see you, buddy. Paul Friend, always a pleasure. All right, fantastic. Leo 224, nice. All right. Been a crazy week, of course. So imagine that'll be the case more often than not. Scott, Farmers Lodge 147. Noblesville 57. Celestial 525. That's a familiar lodge right now. I see Alamo Lodge 144 is here. Suppose that's Brian. Good to see you. Easton, good to see you. Pisgah 32. Frank S. Land 758. Fantastic. Brandon, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming out this weekend and helping us out. Well, I see the First Lady has checked in. I have not seen her all day, and she's probably was wondering where I was at. So now she gets to see me virtually like the rest of you before I make my way home. Charles F. Frank 760, Franklin 107, New Albany 39. Fantastic. Fantastic. Uh-oh, podcast guys are here. That other Masonic podcast, in case you guys were wondering. Tell City 623. Finley, good to see you. New Albany 39. All right. Mike, I will try to make sure I bring some ties, and I'll try and bring some of the First Lady's project stuff as well. I'm not exactly sure what my schedule will be while I'm at COD, so I just am concerned about having the time to kind of share with people or whatever. But I'll bring them just in case, and if nothing else, we'll just find some time quietly in a hospitality room and make it happen. Blaine, thank you. I was happy to see that magazine article. I was kind of excited about it. Of course, then all the comments of the crazies chiming in there, but that's okay. You got to deal with that. It's not a big deal, really. Rochester 79, Dan, good to see you, buddy. Jason Allville, good to see you. Yeah, I wasn't real happy, Stephen Roberts, about the paper saying that at the end of that article, because that's all we need is a bunch of guys coming with pickaxes to the basement door of Porter Lodge, but we'll see. That's okay, Bill. We just got rolling, so no worries. No worries. Lucas, of course there's a tie. You think I'm going to not have an opportunity to have some merch? What the heck? North Judson, 438. All right, we're about 5 minutes in, guys, so I guess we'll go ahead and kind of get rolling. Like I said, I try to be, as much as I can, be respectful of your time and not keep you too long. I know it's Sunday. Sundays are also family time, and so I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys popping on and just sort of being here with us to talk about Freemasonry here in the state of Indiana. So it's a and I'll tell a little bit of story about this a little bit later, but it really is wonderful to sort of have the opportunity to be with brethren all over the state in this circumstance to just share with you kind of what we're doing, and hopefully you guys find it fulfilling as well. I'll start off as we have been with a commodities report, and I have to say I'm a little chagrined to share with you that the market's down. I have 0 green beans for the commodities report here this week. We have had some wonderful meals. There was fried chicken at my first visit, and then there was a taco bar at the second one, and then we've had some pinwheel sandwiches and things like that, but no green beans. And so this week will go down as a 0 on the commodities report as far as green beans are concerned for those of you watching the market. The week started out Monday morning. You know, I was with you guys obviously last Sunday. I shared with you everything we did the previous week, and then first thing Monday morning, tried to get a little bit of work done, and then I was off to Indianapolis Lodge down south, and that was a wonderful visit. My good friend Terry Bisping, who's worshipful master down there, had invited me to come and just be with the brethren and maybe share some comments with them, and I zipped on down there and really enjoyed an evening with the brethren of Indianapolis Lodge. I know several of them there, and we just had a good time chatting and talking. And then as it was just their stated meeting, and they dispensed with most of the regular business, shared with me some of the things that they regularly do down there. One of the things that I thought was very cool was they do, I think he said once a month. Terry, you can correct me on here if I'm wrong, but once a month they do a mystery dinner night where the one brother decides to take charge of it, and an hour before the dinner he sends out a message as to where the dinner is going to be. So everybody knows it's going to be on this day, and then an hour before the dinner he sends out, this is where we're going to have dinner at. And so it's a surprise dinner, a mystery dinner, up until right before they go to it, and then the brethren all go and gather there. And I thought that was a real fun twist on having an opportunity to break bread with your brothers and do that. So it was very cool project they started there, and they seemed to all really enjoy it. So, but I went down there and I had an opportunity to share some comments with them, which hopefully they appreciated. They wanted to get to know me a little bit more, and so I shared with them sort of my concept on what I think maybe the nature of what we do is, and what some of the important aspects are of Freemasonry and the way we progress through the degrees. And that was it was nice to have that opportunity to share that with them in that setting. So that was great. I see my grandfather's on, John Kukuk. Good to see you. Thank you for chiming in. Tipton Lodge, I could see that, Cloverdale. So that was my Monday night. Went down there, traveled all the way down to Indianapolis, like I said, met with those brothers, came home, and then the next thing I did was on Thursday afternoon, I hit the road and headed on up to Madison, Wisconsin, where I joined the Grand Secretary and his lady Shelley and our Senior Grand Warden Jerry Maple to attend the Grand Lodge annual session of the Grand Lodge of Wisconsin. We got there on Thursday, and was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday. Got there on Thursday and made it there in time. The traffic was unbelievable. It was supposed to be 3 hours from where I live all the way up to Madison. I think it was like 5 or 6 maybe for Right Worshipful Brother Maple. And we got up there, and the traffic through Chicago was just horrendous. It took me an extra hour and a half to get there. And I arrived maybe a half hour before the banquet was supposed to start on Thursday night, so the opening banquet. And I got out of the truck and grabbed my stuff and realized I did not bring my suit jacket. Somehow I left it hanging right next to the door at the house. One of the terrors of traveling and knowing you have to be dressed a certain way. And so I immediately got checked in, went to my room, came down, and shot on off to a Men's Warehouse, where $350 later I was equipped with a new jacket and made it to the banquet. It was a wonderful banquet. The food was actually delicious. And they had, for entertainment, dueling pianos, which I hadn't seen at a session before. And those guys were a lot of fun. So we enjoyed the banquet for a little while. And then after a bit, we kind of slipped up to what was called the Governor's Club, which is on the club level of the hotel, just a little bit more private of a space where we could sit and talk. And myself, the Grand Secretary, Senior Grand Warden, and the Grand Secretary of Wisconsin spent a little bit of time just hanging out and talking Freemasonry. And then the Senior Grand Warden and I kind of wound it down and realized we had to get up early in the morning and headed off. And so the next morning we got up and needed to head over to the Masonic Center, which is about a block away, for their annual session. It turns out it was pouring rain when we got up. So we were dressed in our finest and didn't really want to walk in the rain, and kind of lucked out because the hotel shuttle decided they would run us over there. So headed on over there to the Masonic Center and were introduced with the distinguished guests. They treated us really, really well. They have a beautiful building over there. I'm assuming that it's also shared with the Scottish Rite and the Grand Lodge, and probably it looks like their Dyslexia Center was in there, and probably several other Masonic bodies use that building. Very well kept building, and a beautiful auditorium where they held the grand session. And so got introduced and got to sit there and watch them have their session, and very lively. One of the things that I loved the way they opened and the singing that they had, and it was just a wonderful experience. Going out of state and seeing how other Grand Lodges do their thing is always a lot of fun. We broke then for lunch and went and had that's where we had the taco bar. Had a great afternoon sitting there. We actually shared a table at lunch with the Grand Secretary of Missouri, Ty Troutler, who is a good friend of mine from a while ago, but had a great time just sitting there chatting with him. And then the Grand Secretary, Rick Ellman, stayed and I believe was there for the rest of the session. But myself and Grand Senior Warden Jerry Maple had to hit the road to head back home, because the following morning we had 2 rededications. And so we both hit the road, and I know it took me about 4.5 hours to get home. And then I believe the Grand Senior Warden was about 5 or so. He took a different route to get home, and I think that helped him out quite a bit. So, but we got home, and I was able to get home in time to sort of basically unpack and repack all the stuff that I needed. And we got up on Saturday morning and shot down to Thorntown Lodge, Thorntown 113, where we rededicated their lodge to 175 years. 175 years for that lodge, which was just phenomenal. It was an opportunity to get down there and share a really great milestone with them. So it was our second rededication of the year, and just had a lot of fun. I got to hand it to all of the Corps of Grand Lodge officers. They're just really doing a great job on the rededications this year. We've had a lot of fun. They all know what they're supposed to do. They all do it really well, and as a result, we're able to perform the ceremony in a way that is just, I think, living up to what we owe the lodges who are celebrating such milestones. So that's been really good. And then, after we wrapped up Thorntown, which, by the way, I was told while I was down there, and I did not know this, there is a past Grand Master from Thorntown Lodge. Last name is La Follette, and he is the gentleman who wrote the Bible lecture for Indiana Freemasonry. So that was a really cool tidbit. Those are the kind of things that I just love traveling around and learning and finding out about the lodges here in Indiana. Traveled down to a lodge that's been around for 175 years, and you learn that one of the lectures that we give oftentimes in all of our lodges written by a past Grand Master from that lodge. So that was really great. So after we wrapped up that rededication, we had some snacks and hung out there for a little bit, because about 30 minutes away in the afternoon, we had a second rededication for Celestial Lodge 525. And we shot over there. We got there a little bit early. We were able to pop over to a local brewery and have lunch, which is just kind of right across the street, Moontown, I believe it's called Moontown Brewery. Again, I saw no green beans, but I was concerned about time, so I just ordered the soup. And So we just killed a little bit of time there, and then we slid on over to the lodge when we were supposed to be there, and rededicated Celestial Lodge 525 to 150 years. And again, just had a that we were they were so welcoming having us there. Everybody was prepared and had everything set up perfectly. Shout out to my Grand Marshal, Luke Reed, because him working with these lodges and getting everything set up is what really contributes to probably 85% of the success of these events. And he's just really kind of knocking it out of the park. But we had a good time there. Again, 150 years, that's a big deal. The one thing I'll say about this is that the rededication ceremony is such a solemn event. If you ever get an opportunity, if you haven't seen it, you should travel to one and see it, or hopefully your lodge will be having one coming up sometime soon. But what a fantastic opportunity to perform a ceremony that was likely performed at the consecration, the initial consecration of that lodge, and to be able to be there and perform that ceremony for them. And there's such symbolic implications to the testing of the lodge and the pouring of the corn, wine, and oil and the rededication. I definitely do not take it for granted. It's such a privilege to have the opportunity to perform that ceremony for them. And hopefully they get as much out of it as we do. And I look at it as an opportunity to revitalize a lodge and inject a little bit of excitement in the lodge, and maybe build it up a little bit for the next 150 years, say, because they then can recognize what a steep history they have sort of in their lodge, and recommit themselves and rededicate themselves while we also rededicate the building. So I just love those. Those are some of the great things you get to do as a Grand Lodge officer, performing ceremonies like this, which was just fantastic. And then today, so after all of that, got home sort of exhausted and was able to relax a little bit for the evening. And then I got up early this morning and I made the long drive down to, well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I made the drive to Lafayette and met up with our senior Grand Deacon, Dave Hosler, and then he drove the rest of the way down, I think, I don't know what town we were in, to be honest. We were just south of Indy there, I think. Or maybe it wasn't quite to Indy, but we went down there just to meet up and have lunch with a handful of brothers. And I made the time to do that. My schedule is a bit busy, but there are things that you do that sometimes are just really, really important. And I think making time for your brothers when you can is really, really important. We're all busy. We all have stuff going on. But the plant that grows is the plant that you water. And so if something is valuable to you or it's important, you got to somehow make time for it. And this was a situation where we had the opportunity to go down and have lunch with, it was myself, it was Dave Hosler, it was Chris Hodap, Jim Dillman, and Brent Morris. And this is something that we have sort of impromptu done for several years. There's a couple other folks that generally are invited to that lunch. But Brownsburg, thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. We were in Brownsburg. But it's, these are guys that you develop friendships with over your tenure while you're in the craft. And it's just, those friendships mean everything. What we do and our labor of love as we work in the fraternity, the things that we accomplish are really side effects of these beautiful relationships that we build. And, I often marvel at the company that I have the privilege to keep, the amount of knowledge base that you can just be privileged to be around. Brent Morris is certainly one of those icons, one of those towers. Chris Hodap I view as the same. And just so privileged to have the opportunity to break bread with those guys. And so, when that opportunity arises, which, all of our schedules are insane, so it's really kind of few and far between, once a year, if we can make it work. But you got to do that sort of thing. And so, of all my Masonic travels, of course, we went down, we've done a lot of business this week for Freemasonry, but making time to break bread with brothers that you really care about ranks up there as a real top priority. And so off I went on the road to make that trek down there, and I was not disappointed. And so, luckily, I still made it back in time to hop on here and be with you guys. But that's kind of what I was mentioning when I first started the feed here that like, what I realized maybe from this lunch was that it's not it being able to be on here with you and share this live feed with you with some sort of back and forth, with the comments and you guys just being able to tune in and see what's going on. This is part of that sort of relationship building that we have to be with our brothers, and to have the opportunity to be online with you guys. It means as much to me as being in person sometimes, because we can just all sort of be together. I don't know. There's something about it that I found very heartwarming and very endearing, that maybe I hadn't thought of before. That this technology that we have might actually be a bonus, that we have an opportunity to share this time together. And so, thank you, I guess, for logging on and being a part of this. And hopefully, you're warmed by it as well, and you find something rewarding in Freemasonry, in every facet that we share it, whether it be online or in person or in our lodges. Anyways, that was my week in Freemasonry. Very full. This is very much like drinking from a fire hose. If you guys ever watched that movie UHF, which I believe was my wife's favorite movie for a very, very long time, and you see he's on that show and he lets that kid drink from the fire hose. That's what this is. This is like drinking from the fire hose of Freemasonry, and I love it. It's been great. It's really been great. So I thought I would share something interesting with you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the talk of our travels. I think on the first week I talked about a book, and on the second week we did the quote of the week. And but I wanted to share with you. I wanted to bring a little bit of all of maybe the pieces of different artistic endeavor. I thought I'd share with you a Masonic painter that I have kind of come to love. The gentleman's name is Ivan Ivanov. He's from Bulgaria, and he's very prolific painter, and he has a very, very distinct style. You can find him on Facebook. I would encourage you to go check that out. He's just got, what he does is very unique, but I'm drawn personally to artists who have a unique vision and a unique look. I printed out a couple here to show you, just to kind of give you an idea of his style. But I think we should celebrate more often the artistic aspects of Freemasonry. Guys who are artistic in their nature. That's how their love for Freemasonry manifests. It manifests in painting or in poetry or in writing, or any other type of artistic aspect that it can sort of develop in. Jewel making, certificate design, all of those different things are really just artistic manifestations of our love for the fraternity. So I'm just going to show you two that I had, so hopefully you can kind of see them. But this is one that Ivan did. I find it, it's very striking. And of course, if you are familiar with tracing boards and that sort of thing, then symbology is something that you can look at and see. And I'm sure you can check out and see a lot of important symbolism to Freemasonry sort of embedded in this image here. And then this next one I'm going to show you is he actually mailed this painting to me. I have it hanging on my wall in my home. It's a very beautiful piece. This printout doesn't do it quite justice, but it's a beautiful piece of Rose Croix nature. So if you can kind of check it out there, you can see that it's got the pelican feeding its young, the rose and the cross, and tons of other symbolism there. But you can see his style is very unique and present in all of the work that he does. And again, his name's Ivan Ivanov, and from Bulgaria. So I just want to showcase that a little bit, give you guys a little bit of a taste of some of the beautiful artistry that's out there. And maybe as we do more of these on Sundays, we'll have more opportunities to sort of spotlight various artists and things like that. So if you get a chance, check it out if that's your thing. If it's not your thing, I totally get it. But I do love it, and so I thought I would share it with you guys. And as we go through things like the Fellowcraft degree, and they talk about the liberal arts and sciences, I think that sort of thing falls into this kind of stuff we should educate ourselves on. So I encourage you to look into that quite a bit more. Talk a little bit about some upcoming events that we have. we've got this weekend coming up. Well, it's Sunday now, but I've got a mystery lodge visit that we're going to be doing on Wednesday. The Grand Lodge officers, I believe, are all going to join us and going to a very special lodge visit. So that's going to be on our calendar. I'll talk a little bit about that more probably next Sunday for you. But then this coming weekend is the Council of Deliberations for Scottish Rite. And those of you who are Scottish Rite members may know what that is. Those of you who are not, the Council of Deliberations is a meeting where all of the valleys of the Scottish Rite in Indiana come together to share what they're doing, talk about what they would like to see happen in Scottish Rite Masonry. It's just an opportunity for all of the valleys to gather together and just see what each other's are doing and learn who your counterparts are in the various offices and that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun. It moves around the state usually. This council deliberation is going to be in Terre Haute, so we're really looking forward to that. I am a trustee at my valley, and so I'm excited to go there usually anyways. But we're going to go down there, and I'll have the opportunity to experience that in my capacity as Grand Master, which will be a unique thing for me. So that'll be good. But looking forward to being with all of our Scottish Rite brothers down there, and I'm sure that it'll be a good time. It usually is. Eastern Star Grand Session is also happening this weekend, and I can't be there because of my being at Council Deliberations, and so Deputy Grand Master Steve Bates is going to go represent Grand Lodge there. Steve, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you stepping up and doing that. I know they're going to love having you there, and it's unfortunately the demands on all of our time as Grand Lodge officers. You can't be in two places at once, but the best we can do is sort of spread the wealth around, and I'm glad that you're able to make that for us and represent us well there. I believe the annual session for High 12 is also this weekend, and I had originally planned on being there before the council deliberations happened. I don't know if I'll be able to pop over there. I thought maybe I might be able to find an opening and at least go kind of make an appearance. I'm not sure what I'll be able to make happen. It'll probably remain to be seen what happens once I get to council deliberations. But if any of you are High 12 members or are interested in High 12, that might be something to check out as well, because their session is happening. They also coming up in again on June 19th and 20th is our Founding Fathers Day weekend, the America 250 event that we've got going on. I believe there's still a couple of the commemorative tokens available on the website if anybody is interested in that. Again, all of the proceeds from the sale of those tokens is going to go to funding the event itself, to try and make sure that we don't take it out of any kind of budgetary items. And we've been doing pretty well on selling those. We only made 250 of them, so they are very limited. So if you're interested in that, you can go to the gm2026.com website, where you'll find those as well as the First Lady's Project items and things like that. So that event is coming up. Now, I wanted to bring up, somebody mentioned to me that some folks thought that this was going to be a replacement for the Masonic Home Festival, and I want to make it really clear that it is not. The Masonic Home Festival will still be happening in the fall, September, early September, I believe. It's usually around September 11th, but I'd have to look at the exact date. Someone will probably pop it there into the chat if you get a chance. So this is not a replacement for that. This is just a standalone event that we've designed to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And although we are hoping to have a soft unveiling of the Grand Master's project, the large commemorative bell that we've had commissioned, we are actually going to do a proper dedication of that bell at the Masonic Home Festival in the fall. So again, it's not a replacement. Spread that word if anybody says that. We will still have the Masonic Home Festival in the fall. Looking forward to that. That's always a really good time. The home has worked hard to make that event something wonderful to attend, and I hope that you guys will all plan on coming out to both of those events, because they are a lot of fun and we have a good time. So lastly, I think I would probably mention to you that the Feast of St. John the Baptist, I know that there are several lodges out there that do like to celebrate the Feast of St. John the Baptist, as opposed to Feast of St. John the Evangelist, which is in December. Feast of St. John the Baptist is in June. It's June 24th is the date, and we usually designate a day, a Sunday that's closest to the uh, to the actual date of the Feast of St. John. This year we've designated it to be June 28th, I believe. It's the following Sunday rather than the preceding Sunday. And I did that because I didn't want it to conflict with the America 250 event. So if you or your lodge are looking to celebrate it on sort of the official day, then that would be on, again, June 28th, I believe. So I will mention again. I have been paying attention, Darian. I know that I did not acknowledge right away, but I have been paying attention. We have been giving away a Grandmaster's coin each day in this, and or each session of this, and so this evening the winner of that is Ray Saylor. So Ray, I will make sure that I look up your address and I get this coin out to you very quickly. So congratulations and thank you for being here again. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoy the coin, and we will get that out to you right away. So okay, so the last thing I want to share with you is a Masonic quote of the week, and I kind of looked around for a little bit, and I wanted to find something that would maybe be easily recognizable. And so I thought, well, how about I look in the writings of Robert Burns. Robert Burns, obviously the what is it, the Bard poet of Scotland, and of course author of Auld Lang Syne, which we all say, but all sing around New Year's and all that, and is also very popular in the fraternity. But this is a quote from Robert Burns' poem, "The Farewell to the Brothers of St. James Lodge." And if you ever get a chance to read the full poem, it is actually quite beautiful. He was getting ready to travel, and I think at the time he didn't think he was ever going to be coming back. And so he wrote this poem and actually read it at the last meeting he was at of St. James Lodge. And this is just an excerpt from it, just a couple of lines. But it really is kind of a beautiful, just a beautiful short wish for members of the craft. And he was really good at captivating this sort of warm sense of brotherly love, this warm sense of unity and fraternity, and that mystic tie that we have that I think resonates with all of us who are members. And so this is just a beautiful little quote for it. He says, "May freedom, harmony, and love unite you in the grand design. Beneath the omniscient eye above, the glorious architect divine." And what a beautiful way to phrase how we should be connected, under whose providence we are connected. He was a master. So take that into your heart and think about that. And of course, my lovely bride, the First Lady of Freemasonry, ever my watchful companion and protector, has reminded me that I need to mention to you to save the date for the Grand Master's reception. Hopefully some of you will consider coming. The Grand Master's reception is going to be September 26th. It's going to be up here in Dyer, Indiana, at a place called Myers Castle. You can find the link to that on my Facebook page. I should probably get it on the Indiana Freemasons page. I haven't done that yet. Tickets are available now to come to that. It's $75 a person. There is a limited amount of hotel rooms available for those who sign up and need a room. If you're coming up from down south and you want to make sure that you can stay the night. But it's going to be a beautiful night. There will be a whole spread in the magazine coming up here, giving a lot of the details. But you can find a QR code on my Facebook page and details on my Facebook page, and I'll try and make sure I get that shared on the Indiana Freemasons page as well. So thank you, my dear, for showing me that and reminding me of that, because I did want to make sure I got that out there as well. Luke Martin, you are absolutely correct. We are all winners because we're all part of this great fraternity. And I'm so proud to be a part of it, and I'm so proud to serve you guys. And thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you for indulging me again on another Sunday night chat with the Grand Master. I admit that I was nervous and about being able to keep this up, but I think that past Grandmaster Disciple struck on gold here because I find it as rewarding for me as it maybe is for you guys to be on board. So thank you again for all of that. I hope to see you guys down the road and have an opportunity to be with you, shake your hand. If you see me, please ask me for a lapel pin. I'd be happy to give those to you. And let's just enjoy this great fraternity while we have the God's grace to be in it. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.